Hello and welcome to Channel 9's Wide World of Sports, and you join us as Mahela Jayawardene hits a four through the covers off the bowling of Zahir Khan at Sri Lanka and India in the final of the 2011 World Cup. It's being played in Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, a capacity of probably around 55,000. It's probably about 68,000 in the crowd as we welcome former Australian captain Mark Taylor.
Good evening, Tim, and good evening to everyone at home. Yes, well, 4 overs to go in Sri Lanka's innings. They won the toss. Well, they won the second toss. Well, we might talk about that a bit later on. We had two tosses of the coin earlier today. They won the second one, elected to bat, no great surprise there. 5 for 220. Jayawardene is going well. He's moved into the 80s now. Sangakkara also made 48, but the next 4 overs probably pivotal because Sri Lanka probably need, I would say, around at least 250 to be competitive here, because it looks like a very good pitch to me.
Yeah, and we'll tell you more about the double toss because of the noise at the ground. And Mark can't remember a time where he's ever seen the coin go up twice. But 4 pivotal overs. Let's get to our commentators, Saurav Ganguly, Sunil Gavaskar, and from England, Nasser Hussain.
Fielders are waving their arms. Sachin's got a theory. Sachin comes up on the offside there. You can see him with the white floppy. Mid-off goes back. Difficult times as a captain and a bowler. Pulled away behind square. There is a man in the deep. Will he get there? No. 4 more.
Well, that's a good shot by Kulasekara. He knew that the fielder was in the 30-yard circle at fine leg and the deep fielder was square up. Just helped the ball along. Kulasekara. There it is. Didn't quite get hold of it, but helped it along, and that's good enough. It's a fast outfield. Now the pressure on Munaf Patel.
He's looked good since he's arrived at the crease, Kulasekara. That was only his first boundary, but he's timed the ball pretty well. And he's not played any headless shots, any silly shots, just normal cricket shots.
Been involved in a crucial partnership as well, and a very important situation. He's done well for Sri Lanka with the ball in one-day cricket. He stood up for them when it mattered. 43 of 39 deliveries.
Goes offside, third man's up, so that'll be 4 more. Brilliant from Jayawardene.
Hits it so late. It looks as if the ball has almost passed him, and then he brings the bat into play. Look at that. Look at how he's used the bottom man, giving himself a little bit of room. That fielder was in the 30-yard circle. He knew exactly where the fielder was. And look at that. Munaf doesn't know what to do.
It's the adaptability. He's looked to hit over extra cover, just saw a difference in length, helped it to third man. That's the quality of Mahela Jayawardene.
Yeah, coaches call it a release shot. You have your area you're going to hit it, and then if it's not quite there, you have a release where you'll go with a different length, and that's what he did there very well. Didn't just go through with the shot. Gets home safely, moves into the 90s. Previous 2 World Cup finals have been hundreds by great players. Ricky Ponting, 2003, Adam Gilchrist, 2007. Will Jayawardene join him in 2011?
Don't forget Aravinda De Silva in 1996, Nas. He took the game away from the Australians. Different conditions, different wicket, different situation. That's a good delivery from Munaf Patel.
Yes, he followed him. But Kulasekara gave his hand away. He moved away a little too early, and Munaf was able to follow him. Ball a very good delivery as well. Right under the bat. A very welcome dot ball for India, because 10 runs have already come from the first 5 deliveries.
Slow ball, a little bit of a leg cutter. Didn't get a hold of that. 11 from the over, 231 for 5.
Something to bowl for.
Kulaseka has kept the strike, 25 from 28. Jayawardena has 90 from 81 deliveries, without trying to muscle a cricket ball at any stage. Touch player. Back of the length, in the slot, that has gone all the way. First 6 of the match, and it's a biggie.
Well, he's grown in confidence the longer he stayed at the crease. Nuwan Kulaseka. Length ball. Zahir, with all his experience, bowling that length ball. Batsmen look for that length ball at this stage of the innings, and look at that. Nice little golf shot. And into the crowd.
That's the delivery which has got Zahir a lot of wickets in the tournament. But this time it was different.
Hits it right this time, a bit fuller. Well, that was a good pose, a good strike from Kulaseka. It was right in the slot, but he nailed it.
There's the shot again, using the crease well. Knew exactly where he wanted to hit it. That's gone a long way into the stands. He's doing a job for his team, and no wonder Mahela Jayawardena is happy.
Pulled away off the glove. Does Dhoni get there? No. Sure, that came off the glove. Let's have a look at the umpire, Alindar. Yes, 2 runs given.
Well, it did surprise him with the pace with which the ball came onto him. Also, he followed him. Jayawardena was looking to make room on the leg side. Lucky for him, he's got away with it. But the way he's batted, I think he deserves a little bit of luck.
Just carried the responsibility of the team on his shoulders. A big final. That's a good shot again. Hit over third man, that's his area. Jayawardena, he knew exactly where to go. It's been a big over so far.
Again, look at that. Didn't even try to hit the ball out. Saw it was short, knew that the fielders were in, just helped it along, guided it. Bottom man coming into play once again.
Goes offside, save your legs. Mahela Jayawardena, a high-class innings from a high-class player. The biggest of stages, and the Sri Lankan has delivered. What an innings.
Absolutely magnificent, absolutely brilliant. This is a priceless innings for Sri Lanka. Of just 84 deliveries, this was perhaps the only ball he seemed to have hit in anger. Every other ball he just caressed it to the boundary, just helped it, guided it to the boundary, and that's his wife. Very happy for her husband. He was the captain of the Sri Lankan team in 2007 when Australia beat them. Gave up the captaincy to his good friend Kumar Sangakkara, and has he now played a match-winning innings for his team.
Just want to add one thing here. Still the vice captain of the team, and a lot of credit to Kumara Sangakkara. You normally don't see captains being put into that position. Just goes to show what faith he has on his champion player, and he showed it to his skipper once again. A fantastic knock under pressure.
Goes fine, direct hit, and he's gone. Yes, has gone. Good from Dhoni. Jayawardena trying to keep the strike. Kapagedra run out.
More importantly, a dot ball as well at this stage of the innings. A wicket, a dot ball, and a partnership broken. Jayawardena giving him a pat on the head. 17 came off the over, and look at that. He must have played marbles, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. in Ranchi. So getting it spot on. Kulasekara, what a hand he's made. 32 of 30 deliveries. 248 for 6.
Tisara Pereira, the new batsman, coming in at number 8. Jayawardene on strike, though. That's why the run out came. Jayawardene wanted to keep the strike. And off the toe of the bat. Harbhajan's hurt himself. Here's the wicket again. They wanted Jayawardene to have the strike. 3 stumps to aim at. Middle peg from the captain. That's a nice touch. Sacrificed his wicket for the master at the other end.
Yes, he knew that it was important for Jayawardene to take as many of the remaining deliveries as possible. So went for the run, though he knew it was going to be tight. That was that throw to Harbhajan certainly hasn't helped.
Well, it won't help the over rate, that is for certain. Harbhajan struggling with his hand from that throw, but India should have bowled their overs half an hour ago. They've been very slow.
What it means, here's that throw. What it means, of course, is that India's openers will probably get just 4 or 5 minutes before they come into bat, or not even that.
Yeah, the minimum turnaround is 10 minutes. So Sachin and Sehwag will just have those 10 minutes to get themselves ready for this chase. I think the crowd will quite like that. The Indian crowd want this game over and done with. They want India won. They want to win in there. They don't want to be waiting for 40 minutes.
Yes, there'll be no supper for Tendulkar and Sehwag.
Just been informed by the third umpire it's 20 minutes to turn around. You can't have it 10 minutes, so they will have a little bit longer.
250 comes up with that single to Pereira. 9 deliveries left in this Sri Lankan innings.
Jayawardene down the pitch, tries to get over mid-wicket. This is where fitness comes in as well. He'll just be starting to tire. Jayawardene, it's been a hot day. Here's the moment he'll remember, a World Cup final and a quite brilliant 100. Very popular member of the team. High-class guy, high-class innings. Quicker ball, swatted down the ground. 4 more.
Well, that's the reason he's a dangerous player. He's a hitter of the long ball. Pereira. That's the Sri Lankan president. He's enjoying it.
He likes India. That's why he's in this side. Gets a few wickets, gives it a bit of a bash. He looks a big, strong lad for a Sri Lankan. There's no finesse about him. He's the complete opposite of the lad at the other end. 256 for 6.
Telling him about Zaheer Khan to pick his spots exactly where he wants to hit them. There you see 11.25 in the last 4 overs. Very good partnership from Kulasekara and Jayawardene. Can Sri Lanka get to 270?
Well, he probably has said to him that even if you have to get out caught, give me a chance to get to the strikers end. But if he gets out bowled, then a new batsman comes in. So Tisara Pereira probably telling him, you want to swing your bat, swing it smartly.
Or even bat on ball. Depends how much faith he has in him. He is a big, strong lad, so he could clear this boundary. It's only 58 metres hitting back over Zaheer's head. But it could be the message of just bat on ball and we'll run. And give Mahela Jayawardene as much of the strike as possible.
Just goes to show the importance of the new ball in these conditions. 3 maidens in the first 3 overs for Zaheer Khan. And it's gone for 42 in the next 6.
He does swing hard. That's fine. They'll take the single, and Jayawardene will have the strike.
Well, he slammed that ball, didn't he? That ball went like a rocket to the fielder at long off. I think maybe even 5 or 10 yards either side, and it would have been a boundary. Look at that. He's really given it everything. Look how quickly the ball's gone to that fielder at long off.
That's the disadvantage in if you make someone bowl 3 or 4 overs at a trot in the death. It could be anyone, could be Zahir Khan, could be Wasim Akram, but just allows the batsman to get going. Picks the line, picks the trajectory. And Sri Lanka has done well in the power play.
Problem for setting a field for Mahela is that there are so many areas he can hit you. He can go into our offside, he can go over third man, he can do the Dilshan scoop, he can slog you. So it's very difficult to set your field. You can see now he wants to go offside and he just misses out there.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit disappointed that he wasn't able to hit it finer. But he's got a single, making sure that no delivery is wasted in this over, the final over of the innings. Look how late he played it.
Well, it's a good combination here. I do believe batting, there are 2 types of players. A power player, someone like Pereira or Yuvraj Singh is a power player, and there are touch players. And Mahela is just a touch player. Completely different way of batting. This is all power. Whack. Take 4.
Well, he got the full toss right. Pereira was looking for that full toss, anticipated that full toss, made a little bit of room, and he's whacked it. He really has whacked it. He can hit the ball.
Time for Zahir Khan to change the length. It's a change in field. Got a deep fine leg, a deep mid wicket, a long off. It's important for him to change the length. It's just been 1 length so far.
Or maybe even a slow delivery, Saurav.
To mid-on, over mid-on, 4 more.
Well, once again, he's bowled a full toss and attempted Yorker, gone wrong. 2 full tosses, 2 boundaries for Thisara Pereira. Now Mahendra Singh Dhoni a little bit worried. He's now going to bring that deep fine leg in. There again, another full toss. Maybe didn't get hold of it. That's why the mid-on was interested. But way above him.
Don't worry about Mahendra Singh Dhoni being a little bit worried. All of India now a little bit worried. It's just going up a little bit. 266 with 2 deliveries to go.
Now, what I meant by Mahendra Singh Dhoni being worried is when the Indian captain is worried, the rest of India is worried.
Yeah, even the Iceman is just starting to look a little bit nervous. Back of a length. Mahela wants 2. He's still quick. Dives in. Great effort.
Very good running from Mahela Jayawardene. What a turnaround it has been for Sri Lanka in the last 5 overs.
Yes, I think he's been at the crease for a long time, so he would be a little bit tired. Pereira would be fresh, so it was quite understandable that Pereira wanted to come for the second.
Last ball of the innings. In the slot. Whacked away. What a way to end the innings. All the way for 6. Momentum for Sri Lanka. 18 from the last over. They believe. Sri Lanka believe.
63 runs in the power play for Sri Lanka. Now, what a way to finish. Thisara Pereira, 22 from just 9 deliveries. And he's taken the best bowler of the tournament on. And that's the champion batsman. They are happy. What a knock he's played for his country. Mahela Jayawardene, 103 not out of 88 deliveries. they feel Sri Lanka has a chance.
They certainly do. 274 is a very, very good total. Mahela Jayawardene acknowledging the cheers of the crowd and that of his wife. It's a magnificent innings. It's a terrific effort by Sri Lanka. 274 for 6.
63 from that final batting power play, and a real game of two halves for Zahir Khan. First 5 overs, 1 for 6. Last 5 overs, 1 for 54, Zahir Khan. And the big lad, Pereira, swipes it away for 6. Great scenes in the middle. They've got themselves a score. That's the Sri Lankan way. They believe in their bowling attack. They've got a score, and they're saying to India, if you're good enough, get 275 and you'll deserve to win the World Cup. But we've got the bowlers. Watch out. Very slow start for Sri Lanka. They struggled up front. India's bowling, Zahir Khan in particular, and their fielding was excellent. Lots of starts. Pereira 22, 32 for Kulasekara, but the standout innings, Mahela Jayawardene, 103 not out from just 88 deliveries.
Well, there you are, the bowling for the Indians. Zahir started off with 3 maidens, but was taken for 60 in the end. Yuvraj 2 for 49.
So there it is, Wankhede Stadium, Bombay, or Mumbai as we know it these days, and they've set an imposing total, Sri Lanka, Mark Taylor.
A terrific effort in the end. The commentators there talked about the start. India started very well with the ball. They mentioned Zahir Khan, 3 maidens from about the first 4 overs, and it looked, we were talking here about 230, maybe 240 for Sri Lanka, so 274 for 6 is an imposing total, although I think it's probably one of the best pitches we've seen in the tournament so far. It's got a bit of pace, a bit of carry, and not a lot of sideways movement. And I heard Ravi Shastri, one of the commentators, say early on that he thinks he's never seen the ground so small. The boundary's in a long way, the outfield's quick. So 275 is certainly gettable, but it's exactly what Sri Lanka were hoping to do when they won the toss.
And an Australian connection, of course. We saw Trevor Bayliss, he's the coach of Sri Lanka.
Yeah, and he's got a bit of work to do, I reckon. I was just watching Jayawardene there and Pereira as they walked off, and they were hugging and cuddling, and they're probably thinking, hey, we've got this one. They're a long way from having won the World Cup. India have got some pretty useful players, particularly Tendulkar and Sehwag, who are going to come out the bat in about a quarter of an hour's time. So they've got to now focus on their bowling and their fielding. There's a long way to go in this game, and I think 274 runs on the board has Sri Lanka in front, yes, but not by a long way.
Yeah, very similar total to what Australia got against India, and they ran that down pretty easily, particularly in those middle overs. Look, we'll have a look at the whole way that the Sri Lankan innings unfolded after this. Fresh off the charts from some Mumbai music there for us. And if you're just joining us, just getting home, we're in the middle of the World Cup final, the 2011 Cricket World Cup final. Sri Lanka has batted first. Mahela Jayawardene has scored a brilliant century to score a total of 274. And Mark Taylor, Wankhede Stadium is a unique venue. It's in the middle of Mumbai, this teeming city of millions of people, and it is one of the loudest places anywhere in the world for any sporting venue?
Well, all the Indian venues are a bit like that, and they bring along sort of those clackers that they swirl around, some of those big horns, which I'd love to see banned from venues, to be totally honest. It must be a nightmare sitting next to someone who's blowing one of those horns all day. But as you say, out in the middle, you can play all day and actually go home with a headache because the noise is just deafening. So it certainly can put you off, as we saw earlier in the World Cup final.
Yeah, it was quite a unique moment. We're talking off air about to Mark, and has there ever been a time where the coin's been tossed twice before a game? Well, have a look at this.
So the gentlemen all in readiness. MS will spin the coin. What's it, Jeff?
It's a heads.
Heads it is. One is heads, one is tails.
I didn't hear him, Rob. I didn't hear him.
You want to do it again? Or? Come on, match referee.
Let's do it again.
Your call.
I'm doing it again.
Doing it again. Problem was the noise. You couldn't hear it. But here we go. Toss time once again. MS will spin. Heads is the call.
Heads it is, Sri Lanka.
Well, Sri Lanka have won the toss. Well, what?
Sri Lanka has won the second toss. That was beautiful.
Yeah, Jeff Crow there was the match referee, and I think he said there, when asked by Ravi Shastri, what are we going to do? He said, well, I didn't hear the call. I'm a little surprised that Kumar Sangakkara, the Sri Lankan captain, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni didn't just sort it out between themselves after the first. When the coin went up there, I know Kumar would have said something. He would have said either heads or tails, and he would have said, oh, I've won the toss. He either bats, or he says, what are you going to do? I'm surprised that they just didn't sort it out. They've played a lot of cricket against each other. In the end, I suppose it doesn't really matter.
Well, it's because it was interesting when Dhoni put his hand out. I think as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, well, Sangakkara said heads, he's congratulating him, and it was going to go from there. But, World Cup finals in recent years have had a habit of giving us action replays. Remember the West Indian World Cup final where we had to do it twice in the dark, basically, for Australia to win that World Cup final a few years back.
Yeah, there's so much goes on in these big games, I suppose. In the World Cup final you mentioned there, in the West Indies 4 years ago, it was the end of the game that turned into a bit of a farce because we were running out of light and the overs needed to be bowled, and there was talk about coming back for a reserve day to bowl about 2 overs. Fortunately, that didn't happen. And I think, fortunately, looking at that incident, at the end of the day, Sri Lanka won the toss, elected to bat, and the game got on.
Look, we're in the middle of a World Cup final, so we don't want to harbour on this point, but it's an issue that has been here all through this World Cup, and Australia have probably been the worst at it, bowling 11 overs an hour. We've just seen the Indians 40 minutes behind. They've got to do, I mean, you're on the board of Cricket Australia. The ICC has to do something about the pace of overs, because if they ever fear that the 50-over game is going to get hurt, that'll just, it eventually could smash it up.
I agree. Unfortunately, here in this country, because we work in commercial television and time, we're governed by time constraints, we're obviously affected more than a lot of other networks around the world, who a lot of pay networks don't really care. They're happy for the game to go as long as possible, and they don't mind going 40 minutes over on innings, which I don't like, because I like to see the game flow regardless of who I work for, or I'd just like to see the game flowing. And I think captains are spending too long talking to bowlers and talking about tactics when that should be done before games and probably after games. So I think players can do a lot more, and I think administrators can do more as well. But as I said, unfortunately, Channel 9 here in Australia, we're one of the few commercial networks who are still putting the game to wear, and time constraints are an issue for us more so than some of the pay networks.
The other big issue is if it's a dog of a game, it takes a lot longer to watch a dog of a game, and so we'll wait and watch this space with interest. But let's have a look at these cards, because it's been pretty riveting. There's been a fair bit of action in this one, despite the Indians taking so long to bowl their overs. There it is, Mark, the batting card. Yeah,
Upal Taranga there at the top, 20 deliveries for 2. And he's been in terrific form throughout the tournament. That gives you an idea of how well India bowled with the new ball. They kept Taranga and Dilshan under wraps. At one stage, they were 2 for 60. And then Sangakkara and Jayawardene played beautifully. And all of a sudden, they were, I think, about 2 for 121. And then Sangakkara got a long hop from Yuvraj Singh and was out for 48, just out of the blue. But Jayawardene, as you heard Nasser saying so early on, he played a terrific innings, 103 from 88 balls in a World Cup final. That's an innings of a lifetime for him and a reward for a terrific bloke and a great player.
Yeah, and Samawira there with 21. Cooper Gedera also chipped in with a couple. Zahir Khan 2 for 60 and bowled very well at the start and then fell away towards the back end of his overs. But let's have a look at the dismissals, and the first man to go was Taranga.
Yeah, as I said, right, Zahir Khan, one stage I think had 5 overs, 1 for 5 with the wicket of Taranga. Got a little bit of movement, a little bit of swing, and Taranga just couldn't find the gaps. In the end, he edged one to Sehwag at first slip and was out. But Shrithants was okay with the new ball. Not quite as consistent. I'm not really sure why he played the first game and not the last. Here are the wickets. There's Taranga. Good catch from Sehwag at first slip. And Zahir Khan at that stage had about 1 for 2 off about 3 overs. So he was going nicely, as were India at that time.
Yeah, and it was a fair catch too, wasn't it? It was because it was travelling. And here was the next one, Harbhajan.
Yeah, Dilshan, another guy who's played well throughout the tournament. It was a strange dismissal, really. That ball was probably going to miss leg by, probably nearly a half a metre. And somehow hit the back of the gloves of Dilshan's bat, and he got it back onto the stumps. This was the wicket I talked about earlier. Sangakkara played beautifully throughout the tournament. 48 from 66 and got a long hop. That's all that was. It was short and wide, and I think you'd probably get that ball 50 times and put it away 49. And the other time you wouldn't get out to it. So that's one of those rare dismissals, I think. This one was a review. LB Samrawira was the batsman. Simon Taufel, I think, rightfully gave that out. I was surprised that got returned or overturned on review. It looked not out to me for all money. The review system says out. So I don't really think Simon Taufel made a bad decision there. That was a good slower ball from Zahir Khan. That's when things were still going well for him.
Yeah, and it looked at that point that a couple more wickets and Sri Lanka would struggle to get around 230, but they steadied up, and Jayawardene was the anchor. But this was a good bit of work by Dhoni.
Good bit of work from Dhoni, and Kapagedera, who was the man who was run out in an instance, did well. He really sacrificed his wicket after playing particularly well. 32 he made from 30 deliveries, hit a couple of nice 4s and 6s, and took a bit of pressure off Jayawardene at the other end. So a nice little partnership there, broken by a very good piece of fielding from Dhoni. So there it is, 274 for 6. So India are going to need to score at about 5.5 runs per over. I think we're in for a great run chase here.
Oh, we are for sure. And you mentioned Mahia Jayawardene. What a wonderful player. Had the opportunity of doing quite a few interviews with him. You know him quite well. He batted beautifully, didn't he?
He did. And I mentioned earlier, he's a terrific guy, one of those very likeable guys who have been around world cricket now for probably 12, 15 years. He and the guy at the other end there, Sangakkara, also a lovely human being. And it's great to see players like this achieve a goal like scoring 100 in the World Cup final. It's something I think as a player you don't think much of, but when it comes your way, you look back and say, hey, that was a special innings, a special moment, particularly when you're one of the host nations, as Sri Lanka are, even though this is played in India. They're a co-host, and to score 100 in this World Cup final, as I said earlier, will be something that he won't forget in a hurry.
Yeah, and he made it look so easy, and he brought up that century with a boundary. He really is such a graceful batsman, and that's the key to this match, really. It's batsmen that are both sides' strength, and India have Sehwag, Tendulkar up the top, then they go to Gambhir. Probably not in the best form right at the moment, but a quality batsman. Yuvraj, we know what he can do. Dhoni clubs them when he's in form, but it's those two up the top that really will set the pace, you would think.
Yeah, I think the new balls could really be vital here. This was Sehwag in the semi-final against Pakistan. Only made 38, but scored him off about 28 deliveries and really got into Umar Gul in this innings, and Gul was one of the best bowlers throughout the tournament, but just took him apart early on and got India off to a flyer. In the end, they only made 260, but they got to 100 in no time at all, thanks mainly to this little cameo innings. It's something that obviously India will be hoping from him tonight. If he can start like this and change the momentum, India will be right back in this contest.
Yeah, certainly wounded some Australian teams over time. Now, this is the Sri Lankan team, and they do have a strong bowling lineup, of course, headed by Murali in his last one-day international. It'll be quite a farewell for him. And the other one is the bowling, the sling.